Yeah! Woo! I'll beat your game because I could. Your game, I beat your game. Yeah! Coin noises. Welcome to Super Garbage Day, a retro video game review show where my co-host and I play a game 20 years or older that you, the listener, chooses. Every episode, we randomly pick a game submitted by the community to play, kindly dissect, and then discuss. Welcome to episode 99. Sorry, you might want to send a rose or possibly pour out a 40 for that theme song because it's changing as of the next episode.
Ooh,
I am your host,
intriguing.
B. Ross, also known as Charlie Coleslaw. And with me today is, of course,
Vanfernal.
Yes. All right. So new month, last month of the year. Time for a Are You Feeling Old Yet? Are you feeling old yet? Ouch, my back. All right, Van. Make us feel super ancient once again.
All right, so this is the Are You Feeling Old Yet segment. For those who are new, this is a segment where we check what games released on this month 20 years ago. We're talking December 2025, thus making the games eligible for our Wheel of Retro. And today we're starting our list with Armored Core Formula Front Extreme Battle for the PSP. Okay.
I've never played an Armored Core game. No idea.
Then we have Battles of Prince of Persia for the Nintendo DS, a card game apparently.
What? Okay. I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, no, it's okay. We got Front Mission 5, Scars of War.
So a lot of mech stuff going on here for December.
Yeah, I know, right? That's for PlayStation 2. We got Cow the Kangaroo 3, Mystery of Volcano.
Okay. Everybody loves that game. I remember that was game of the year, right?
Yeah, no, it is. It's kind of like November is the big
in Australia,
the big month for releases. So last month was crazy. Now it's just kind of like stragglers. Well,
true.
Actually, we have Monster Hunter Freedom for the PSP, so that's kind of big though.
A lot of PSP games, huh?
Yeah, we got Dragon Quest Heroes Rocket Slime for the Nintendo DS.
Rocket Slime is my porno name.
It's a shooter, apparently.
Okay, that's kind of cool. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, we got Metal Gear Acid 2 for that's a PSP game also.
Okay.
We got Tales of the Abyss, one of the many hundreds of Tales games, those RPGs by Namco.
Okay. Like that's Symphonia and all that.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got Animal Crossing Wild World. Okay, that's kind of big.
That's a big one.
Games.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got Rogue Galaxy for the PlayStation 2. That is one of those very underrated RPGs, actually.
I didn't know nothing about it. I thought at first it was like a Star Wars game.
We got Samurust 2 for PC.
Samurust?
Samurust. Apparently there's a Samurust 1 somewhere.
Okay.
Okay, so now for the kind of high profile games. We got Prince of Persia, The Two Thrones. That is the sequel to Sands of Time. Actually, I think this is the third one. Yeah. Second one was Warrior Within. This is the third one. We got Kingdom Hearts 2.
Oh, okay. That's pretty big release.
Yeah, and I think what the biggest release here will be Yakuza for the PlayStation 2.
Oh, so like the first Yakuza, huh?
Yes, which kicked off a legacy that's still going strong to this day. Like that series really took off.
That's cool. Yeah, I've never played any of those games. I've always been interested in them. So I know somebody just put one on the wheel.
It's kind of cool. It's kind of like a beat 'em up mixed with RPG elements. It's kind of like if you took River City Ransom and put it on a open world and make it all about Japanese mobsters.
Sign me up.
So, and then there's like 25 games. So,
Well, it's successful for a reason, right?
yep. That's pretty much the big releases for December of 2025.
Nice. Well, I mean, nothing really is making me feel ancient because honestly, I haven't played any one of those games. And like you said, I think December is usually like the slow month for game releases because at that point, these companies want to release the game in October or November so that kids are asking for it for Christmas. So interesting dynamic.
Yeah, and I think they just remember these were a lot of physical releases, so parents kind of want to do an early bird or like Black Friday type of all the shopping, get it out of the way.
Mhm.
So December is not really the peak month for releases.
That makes sense. Makes sense. And it seems like January would also be slow because everybody's kind of broke, but I don't know. I'm not sure how that works in the game release realm, but right on. Well, I mean, I think that's it for segments, right? We don't have any more today, do we?
Yes, we have our poorly described games.
All right, let's play that theme song.
Don't wanna close my eyes. Don't wanna fall asleep, 'cause I miss you, babe. And I poorly describe this game.
Got it. Aerosmith's going to sue me over. All right. So I believe it is your turn to give the poorly described game. And go ahead.
All right, so the poorly described games, basically, I'm going to take a game and I'm going to describe it as badly as I can. And then B. Ross has 15 seconds to guess the game. Afterwards, then it's a free-for-all where the audience gets to also take a guess at what the game is. All right, are you ready, sir?
Yes, I've been lifting weights and doing cocaine all day. Shout out to anybody who gets that reference.
All right. First game. Man lures strangers with candy, then rides them like an Uber.
What was the first part of that?
Man lures strangers with candy, then rides them like an Uber. Ready? And go. He lures strangers with candy. Then rides them like an Uber.
Then rides them like an Uber.
And go.
I feel like it's like a little bit of it's ringing a bell. Rides like an Uber. So, oh, Little Nemo, NES.
Yes.
Oh,
yes. Little Nemo, the Dream Master for the NES.
Man. Wow.
Good job, sir.
Holy smokes. Okay.
Yeah, not that many games fit that description.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, throws candy and then Ryan, that it immediately clicked. So.
Yes. All right, ready for round 2? I was late, I had to record your own show. We got Lithko in the house. Welcome. We are about to go for the second one. So are you ready?
Yes. What's up, Lithko?
All right. Worker shortage forces God to moonlight as a city planner. And got it? Worker shortage forces God to moonlight as a city planner. And go.
Is it black and white?
No.
Worker shortage. I mean, it's like SimCity or something. But I can't figure out the worker shortage. To moonlight as a city it's ActRaiser.
Yes. There you go.
Damn, I'm on it today. This is complete 180 from the first time I did this, which I got, I think, 0.
Maybe I'm making these too easy. All right. Now let's go for something a little trickier.
Okay.
All right. Angry man ruins support group by punching everyone who wants a hug. Angry man ruins support group by punching everyone who wants a hug. And
Angry
go.
man ruins support group by punching everyone that wants a hug.
Yes.
I mean, angry man.
Yes.
Support group.
Yes. Now, so if anyone has any guess, now's the time.
Now, chat, you can guess. Well, I'm still trying to figure it out.
Going once. Going
Angry
twice.
man. You got to let me get a final answer.
All right.
Angry
Take your shot.
man ruined support group
Yes.
by punching everybody who wants a hug.
Correct.
I don't know why I'm thinking state of emergency of all things. That's all I got. Final answer.
And that is wrong. The name is Kung Fu.
Oh, I would have never got that one.
You know how the enemies just walk up to you and give you a hug?
You know, I thought the support group part threw me completely off. So,
Well,
yeah,
they are in
it
a
makes sense.
retreat on this like Zen.
I should have focused on the hugging.
Yeah, they're in this like Zen pavilion. You know, you got like exotic animals like for relaxation and all that, and then this guy's just walking around punching people. So
It's based off a Jackie Chan movie. Did you know that?
yes, the movie Spartan X, but it's kind of funny that it is based on a Jackie Chan movie, but the structure is structured like Fist of Fury, a
Yeah.
Bruce Lee movie. So it's kind of confusing.
Nog says that was good. Leithco says, I was thinking Phantom Fighter, but I knew there was no way. I said state of emergency, which is like nowhere near.
All right, hey Chad, if you got guesses, just throw them in there. All right, ready for the next one, sir?
Yes.
All right, next one. Disgruntled worker organizes a strike over OSHA violations. Disgruntled worker organizes a strike over OSHA violations. And go.
Disgruntled worker organizes strike over OSHA violations.
Yes.
It's either like Manhunt or like Mirror's Edge or something. I don't know why those games are popping up in my head.
Both are wrong.
I know. Well, those are stretches. Oh, disgruntled worker.
Shove it? No, it is not shove it, Lithko.
What is shove it?
I don't know, but it's definitely not that.
Disgruntled worker.
Yes.
OSHA violations. So that's the thing that's throwing me off. Is I'm thinking like all of it's throwing me off. OSHA violations.
Yes.
Feel like an unsafe environment.
Correct.
Mounting pretty much a mutiny.
Correct. You're getting there. Donkey Kong? No, Lithko, it is not Donkey Kong.
I have no idea. Like, I don't even know if I have a guess.
All right. No guesses.
We know what we need to
guesses
start doing
from
on
chat?
this. We need to start having like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Like things like, all right, can you give me the genre or like something like that? That'd be cool.
All right. All right. Well, I don't think I can give anything else.
Oh, it's Jumpman.
Jumpman? No.
It's not,
What is Jumpman?
It's not Donkey Kong?
No.
I think Lithco would have got that before me, actually.
Yeah, he guessed Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
All right. You guys give up? Is that it?
Yeah, man, I have nothing.
The game is called Oddworld Abe's Odyssey.
Oh, wow. I'd have never guessed that. Oh, man.
Have you not played that game ever?
I haven't played it, no.
Okay. All right.
I know of it. I know of it. I know it's lore, but it's not completely foreign to me. So it does make
All
sense.
right. Next game. Let's see if you get this one.
Okay.
A case of stolen identity leads to hours of community service. A case of stolen identity leads to hours of community service. And go.
Is this a game we've played on the show? He's just not going to answer? Okay.
Maybe. At least not with me.
Oh, okay. Well,
I haven't played it for a show. So.
okay. Well, then probably not. A case of mistaken identity.
Stolen identity.
Stolen identity. Leads to community service?
Yes.
Community service.
Yes.
That's the weird part. That's the part that I'm not really figuring out. Stolen identity could be like Kirby. It could be like... We already had Kirby, though. We already did a Kirby one of these. Stolen identity community service?
Yes.
This one's hard. These have gotten a lot harder. Does anybody out there have any ideas? I mean...
Chat, it's your turn now.
I'm
Take your best guess.
Hard on this one.
A case of stolen identity leads to hours of community service. I was gonna say deja vu, but I don't think that's it. No, Lithko, but I like your spirit.
Deja vu. That's not a bad answer. All right. Can you give me the system?
No. That is a dead giveaway.
It's a dead giveaway?
100%.
Is it Mario is it what's that new Mario game that was on the Switch? Mario Odyssey?
No. CRISPR says identity crisis. No.
But it's a dead giveaway if you were to say which console it was on.
100%.
Really?
Yes.
That's interesting because I'm wondering like what console. It has to be something that's really like a big IP.
Well, all right. Here's the hint. Here's the console. Came out for the GameCube.
The GameCube?
Yes.
Stolen identity community service. Oh! Is it Animal Crossing?
No.
Oh. Those are all my guesses. I think I've struck out on my guesses. Anybody else? It's on the GameCube.
All right. Going once, going twice. Lithko, you're getting there, Lithko.
Is it Mario Sunshine? Oh.
Lithko just got it a microsecond before you did. Super Mario Sunshine.
Oh, man. We did review that game on the show. That game was reviewed on the show.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was with...
Mr. Miller.
Was that? I think it was with Mr. Miller.
It was an early episode.
Yeah, but yeah, the whole point is that fake Mario paints all over town and then they make you clean it up, so...
Damn, I was close when I first said Mario, though. I was like, oh, and I was thinking Mario Odyssey. But the weird thing is I know nothing about that game, so I should have just said Sunshine. Good work, Lithko.
All right, good job, Lithko. That's 2 B-Ross, 1 chat. And then we have the last one.
Oh, we got another one. Okay.
Yes. And this one is boy wearing fetish gear risks everything over a blow-up doll. Boy wearing fetish gear risks everything over a blow-up doll. And go.
What? Boy wearing fetish gear? Boy? Like, as in, like, not a man?
Right.
Oh. Boy wearing fetish gear risks everything for a blow-up doll?
Yes.
Boy, but it's not Boy in a Blob.
No.
That doesn't make sense.
No, that's not it.
No.
No. Just break down what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's
boy
a
wearing
he's a
fetish
boy.
gear.
Yes, wearing fetish gear.
So like a limp, like a gimp thing. Risk everything for a blow up doll.
Yes. Remember, these are poorly described games.
Yeah, I know. No, it's good. So it makes them hard.
So
Fetish
the
gear?
boy wears leather, amongst other things, Lithko.
It's a blow up doll
You're-
thing that's throwing me off.
Yes.
Le-
You're
leather-
allowed to ask yes or no questions. Like, just you.
Oh, I didn't
you-
know. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to tell you, like, oh, tell me what system.
Is the
because
blow up
that's
doll
kinda-
sentient?
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
Like a leather armor? No, Lithko, not particularly.
Oh, leather armor. Like what other like? What else would be described as like kink? Oh man.
Leather jacket? No.
Maybe the leather thing is not the way to go. Maybe it's like spikes or something.
Yes.
Oh. There's
What kind of?
for a blow up doll?
Yes.
What? God damn. I mean, really have no idea. Like, the more I think deeper into it, the further I think I get away from it.
Okay. So, chat, any last guesses? Let's see. You got any guess? Think about it. Fetish gear, chokers, chains.
Wait a second. Everything for a blow up doll.
Mega Man? No. But good guess.
It's the blow up doll part that's like, I can't figure out. It's a sentient blow up doll.
Yes.
This is a game we've played.
Not on the show. It's a game in the wheel of retro. I'll give you that hint.
Shit. Okay, well, that's.
That narrows it down to a couple hundred.
Yeah, it's the. All right, which console?
PS2.
PS2.
Yes.
Is it Manhunt?
No.
Oh, that's my final answer. Sorry.
All right, Manhunt, final answer. Chat, you guys got anything? All right. So, the game I'm talking to is The Bouncer.
Oh, well, I haven't played that game, so I don't know nothing about that game.
Dude, you skipped like a whole generation here. Yeah, but if you haven't played it, you're
I can't
not
change
gonna
my
get it.
past. Yeah, like I know that's a game that everybody wants us to play on the show, but yeah, no,
I know for some reason I thought that was a game you also played back in the day.
No, I discovered or I've heard about it in the last like 10 years. I think because of there's like polarizing views on it. Like some people think it's actually good, and a lot of people think it's like campy and bad. But
I mean, it's better than Kingdom Hearts, but that's kind of saying like that's not a very high bar to clear. But there you guys have it. So B-Ross 2, chat 1. So B-Ross wins this round.
hell yeah. Thank you all for playing. Yeah, I would have never guessed. I think if you would have given me 100 tries, I still would have never guessed that. But good work. Good work. See, if Chris was here, he probably would have known all of that. But
yeah, Chris will have been all over this.
But
100%.
he's too busy. I don't know what he's doing. Flossing his Johnson.
Don't wanna close my eyes. Don't wanna fall asleep, 'cause I miss you, babe. And I don't wanna Mr. Pim. Woo!
All right, so what's new in the land of Super Garbage Day Incorporated? Well, our next episode is number 100. And I really can't believe we've made it this far. Like, I've never had a 100th episode of anything I've ever made in my life. And so it's pretty wild. Stay tuned on this episode to see what the game or thing will be picked for the 100th episode. We're going to do it at the end, and we'll see. I'm also choosing the Secret Santa retro reviews today. And by that, I mean, if you wanted to be a part of that, I think we have 6 people. So that's good. So we have 3 and 3. I'll be spinning a wheel and figuring out who's going to pick the game for who. And then I'll just message you with those details. And then, you have a couple weeks to, send me a review or create one, however you want. And then we'll just make a big video out of it and put it on YouTube.
It can be any format, like video.
Oh yeah, however you want to do it.
Like written.
You can just send me your review and I'll read it. Like no pressure. It's
okay, cool.
Yeah, it's all good. I think that's it. So let's just move on to the retro question of the week. And forgive me if we've already done this one. I don't think we have. I think we did one that was very similar. But anyways, Masked Keaton asks, what is one game that you haven't beaten, but you wish you had? For me, I've never beaten Punch-Out, and I bet it's an amazing feeling. Hoffenpopper chimed in and said, mine was A Link to the Past. I was enjoying the game so much then, and I had to leave my house for a few days. I was in college. I get back to the house, and most of my games were gone for the SNES. I ended up just selling the SNES because I got so aggravated about it. That sucks, man. That's a sad story. I feel bad for you. But you have to finish that game. That game is phenomenal. My goodness. Oh, here we go. Veggie chimes in with another Zelda game. Ocarina of Time. Haven't touched it since 2001. Started my lifelong phobia of dungeons in any game that I can get lost in. Hence why I only play games where you hold right and jump. All right, Veggie. That's true. If you want to know, Veggie streams a lot of speedruns of games like that. Actually, a really cool frog western game. Name escapes me, but it's really cool. Florida's Best Keith chimed in and said, Grandia. I love it to death, but I've never beaten it. I love Grandia.
That's a great RPG.
It is. I also have never beat it. So, I think I originally played it on the Dreamcast of all things. Which I think is like the best way to play it, at least back then. Naugs56 says, I'm gonna say Max Payne. I'm pretty sure I never beat it so long ago, and the CTE is gaining ground. Well, you should. Max Payne 1 is really fun. Max Payne 2 is even more fun when you add the Kung Fu mod. It makes it ridiculous. It becomes like a kind of like a crazy Jackie Chan game. But yeah, I think both Max Payne and maybe Max Payne 2 are in the wheel. But I can't wait to play those games again. I do love those games. So Van, what is a game that you haven't beaten but you wish you had?
I also have to say Ocarina of Time. The problem is I didn't have that game in the N64 back in the day, so I kind of missed that whole window. And throughout the years, I start that game, I don't get like half an hour in, and I have to shut it off every time because I don't know. It's just how that particular game has aged. And just in terms of like your gaming pedigree, Ocarina of Time is one of those historical games that's before and after. Like that game influenced, like if you play Dark Souls or anything, that DNA is there. But for the life of me, I cannot get into that game no matter how hard I try. So I really wish I played it in the game and was in on it with everyone else, because the way I see it, it's aged horribly, and I don't have it in the high esteem everyone else has it because I wasn't there. But now I feel that nostalgia goggles kind of clouds people's judgment about how that game is quote unquote perfect, and a masterpiece. But I kind of wish I played it and beat it so I could have a more informed opinion.
It's definitely a game you had to be there from when it came out to really like process and get the feeling of how amazing it is. I would have to agree. It's probably hard to go back to and try to like finish, 20, 30 almost years later. But
yeah, and it's like it runs at like 15, well, realistically like 20 frames per second. It looks very muddy. It's just it's just I just really can't get into it, and I really wish I could just go through the whole thing.
yeah, it's a rough one. But I think it's worth beating. I mean, the 3DS version of it, I think, is probably the definitive one to play. But you got to have a 3DS, and like emulating that would be weird. But yeah, I've actually never played Majora's Mask, so that's something I've always wanted to get around to doing because I did beat Ocarina of Time, loved it, but never picked up kind of the sequel. So that's not my answer.
That's kind of a big debate over which one is actually better, though.
Yeah, I think they're like I hear they're distinctly different games in many ways.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, one of these days I'll get around to it. But that's not my answer. My actual answer to this question is Dark Souls 2. On the 360, I started playing that after I beat Dark Souls 1 because I bought Dark Souls 3 on the Xbone because I wanted to experience all of them. And I got about halfway through Dark Souls 2 and I was just like, I am not feeling this game. But I kind of wish I did beat it because I don't want to start Dark Souls 3 without completing Dark Souls 2. And I know it's like the stepchild of the trilogy.
Oh, definitely. The Dark Souls 2 stance will just like defend that game to the death, but it is definitely, it wasn't made by Miyazaki. It was kind of like a side team. He did some
Yeah, it was like the B team.
Yeah.
Right?
So he did some supervisory work and everything, but the game has a ridiculous amount of bosses. The map itself doesn't make sense how it connects, like the world. It's not like Dark Souls 1, how the whole world interconnects. It's groundbreaking. Dark Souls 2 doesn't make sense. Like, there's an area where you're in this place where you can see the sky, right? You take an elevator up and then you're in this volcanic world completely covered with lava as far as if I can see, and you're like, okay, where did the skybox go? How did I like it doesn't the geography doesn't make sense, But I beat that game, all of the DLC, all of the bosses and everything, and I can definitely tell you it's a game.
Okay, well, it's good to know. It's definitely a game.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, it's a game. That's about my best take on that.
Part of me wants to complete it though, because I don't want to start Dark Souls 3 yet until I've at least done better than playing half of Dark Souls 2. But maybe playing on the 360 isn't the best move, That's
yeah. Also, that game is massive. It is huge.
Really? Well,
yeah, I think it's definitely bigger than Dark Souls 1, probably bigger than Dark Souls 3.
Oh, really?
It is. Yeah, it is. It's got like 5 DLCs too, or something like that. It's a lot.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe it's in my future. Who knows? All right. If you want to add your own question to the Retro Question of the Week, please join the Discord. We have a whole channel in there. It's free, and you just look in the show notes for a link to that. Now it's time to ask, what are you playing? All right, Van, what are you playing?
So currently I'm playing this game called Where Winds Meet it's basically came out on everything, and it is a free to download game that is kind of every single open world mixed in one. It's got kind of like Sekiro Souls-like gameplay, but it plays more like an MMO open world / Assassin's Creed. You can play single player, you can play co-op with 4 people, you can play as an MMO with just like a full server. And it's set in like a wuxia setting, ancient martial arts China. And it is a surprisingly polished game, even though it's free to play. The graphics are like really solid and everything, and I'm like digging it so far. You can buy cosmetics and that type of stuff, but the monetization is not for anything pay to win or anything, and it is actually very entertaining. So if you're like in the mood for an open world game, it's free on Steam, PlayStation, pretty much everywhere. I think it's gonna come to phones now.
Okay.
So honestly, I think it's worth checking out.
Is it, you said it's kind of like an open world? Is it a little bit of an MMO? Is that what you said?
Yeah, so you can play on a server, open server, MMO. Like you'll just see people running around like an MMO. You can play it as a single player game, kind of like Assassin's Creed. You can play just with friends on a like little group of 4 people. So pretty much it's an open world that you can customize it to play like any open world you actually want to play. So if you're just have social anxiety, just play solo. If you want like a whole social experience, you can play it as an MMO server. We can play and join a guild and stuff like that. So it's very interesting, that approach of kind of play it how you like, you know.
Nice. Okay. Well, that's cool. I've seen a lot of people streaming that recently. So apparently it's very popular. And I guess it being free is it's the easiest entry you can have.
That definitely helps.
Yeah. Well, I've been playing a Shooting Gallery, like I spoke of earlier, on the Master System. Apparently it's the hardest game, based off the only other person who's completed and documented beating every one of the Master System games. This was the game they said was the hardest, and it took them 167 hours to beat.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, for a light gun game.
And you stream on average, what, 2-3 hours?
A day, yeah. But to be fair, the same streamer, it took him 76 hours to beat Afterburner, and it took me 16, almost 17. So,
okay.
I don't know. I'm not saying I'm better. I'm just saying I'm not sure if those are like the metrics to really judge it, but we'll see.
I mean, that is not a very big, sample group of one.
I know. It's he's the only person that actually like wrote all the stats down and like shared the data. So, and then has like the videos that match it. So that's what I'm going off of. But yeah, I was kind of dreading this game being picked. Yeah, but that's what we do on my Twitch. I'm all about the Master System, trying to beat every game, like I said. And we might be on this one for a long time. All right. All that out of the way, let's get to this week's game. And what is this week's game? I'll tell you what it is. It is freaking Ghouls and Ghosts on the Sega Master System. Let's go.
Yeah!
Ghosts and Goblins, Ghouls and Ghosts is a action platformer in the Ghosts and Goblins series, released for the Sega Master System in, I believe, 1986. It is very much like the other ones, where you play as Arthur and you have to save your princess from, in this case, not Satan, but a protagonist named Loki, which is weird. There are 5 levels to it, and it has a different situation in comparison to the other games, where you have upgrades and you have unlimited continues. But at the end of the day, it is just Ghouls and Ghosts, pretty much an arcade port on the Master System. So let's get into those first impressions. All right, brother. I know you actually have already streamed this game, Van, and already beaten it and played it again. So what were your first impressions actually when the first time you loaded it up?
So it's kind of hard to put into words. The thing is, like, I've had already played the arcade version. I played the Genesis version, so I hadn't played this version. And this version feels like a direct sequel to Ghosts and Goblins for the NES, if that makes any sense.
I think it actually is.
Yeah, it's like the way the jank is definitely there. It's got some weird things, like you can actually switch directions midair, something that's unprecedented on the series. Like you can shorten your jumps and that kind of thing. And overall, I feel like, all things considered, they did a pretty decent job of capturing the essence of the Ghosts and Ghosts arcade game on this one. Even though it's a very limited version.
I agree. And also I also agree with the statement that it's kind of feels like it's somewhere in between the NES version and the Super Nintendo version. As if it's like a 1.5 before, and as if like the Super Nintendo version was 2.0. And I've been playing this system now for I don't know, many months. I mean, I'm up to game 33. And what's funny is this put me in a weird spot because my stream is I'm only playing Master System games and I have to complete them when they get chosen. This game wasn't chosen yet, but it is one of the games we've been saving up for to buy because the whole rule is I need to own the game in order to play it. And so when it got chosen here, I thought like, okay, well, I have to play it for the show and try to beat it, but also I'm going to have to like revisit it later. And I decided, okay, well, I'll give it the old college try, but I'm not going to go like super hardcore into it. I'm just going to try to beat it once and then like maybe revisit it deeper later when it gets chosen for the streaming quest. But my first impressions were that it's definitely like Ghosts and Goblins arcadey, but I was a little like taken back by how bad the like slowdown was. And I understand that this is an 8-bit system trying its best, but I played it actually on the Master System and I was on a CRT and it was I was like, my God, some of these levels, the first couple levels I played, I was like, this is like excruciating slowdown. And I know this game's known for this, like obviously a big part of the slowdown or Super Ghouls and Ghosts on the Super Nintendo. People know like there's a crap load of slowdown. This game is known for that, but I was a little taken back by like how out the gate it was a little too much. But I was excited to play it. I thought like the music sounded better than the Genesis one, and it's kind of quirky. It being the other 8-bit Ghosts and Goblins, Ghouls and Ghosts. So I was right in the middle for my first impression.
Yeah, this has a very weird spot in the series, especially since this was released 1990.
Yeah, it was released later. So
yeah, that was very late into the Sega Master System itself, and then on top of that,
at least North America,
the Super Nintendo was almost out at that point, or maybe was out already. So Super Ghouls and Ghosts was in active development at this point. So it is kind of baffling this came out at all.
It is, but also, you got to think of the Master System and post its failure in the US and how it actually like completely was popular in Brazil. So I'm sure they resold it there too, and the UK.
There definitely there had to be a market to make it all
right
worth releasing worldwide.
But that's our first impressions on this game. Let's really dig into the gameplay. This is really funny. You're gonna laugh at this. When I first played this game, I obviously didn't read the manual or anything, and I just went into it like I do every Ghosts and Goblins game, which I'm just like, let's just get in here and let's get ready for the hell that these games normally are. So I actually played through this game, and beat it. The first loop, because just like other games in this series, there's more than one loop. And I realized at the end that I was pretty much forcefully playing this on a hard mode because I wasn't utilizing like the weapon shop upgrades, which is like a big difference in this game compared to all the other ones that are in the series. Is that you can, as you can see right now on the screen, you can you make the chest come up, and instead of like the item being in them, you go into this like kind of shop and you get these options of certain types of chests, or certain types of armor, or a weapon upgrade, or other times like power up or just replenishing your life. I kind of avoided it because every time I opened a chest, it just felt like it was a magician that was going to change me. I felt like it was like 10-1.
Yeah, there were so many, but then again in the Genesis version, they are rampant too. So
right, and this is like this is the little brother to the Genesis version because they're even the levels are very similar. This is nowhere close to the way it is on the Super Nintendo, which it just feels like an absolute sequel, in the series.
Yeah. Super Ghosts and Ghosts is a complete sequel. This is it looks like it's a port of a port. It looks like it's a port of the Genesis port of the arcade.
Correct. It absolutely feels like that. I think that's the best description possible for it. But it doesn't mean it's not fun. And I think the controls are decent. It's like you said earlier, you can move in midair once you jump. You don't get a double jump like you do later on in other systems. But you know, for the most part, it controls well. And it's a Ghosts and Goblins game that isn't super janky. You have your 5 levels that follow pretty much the arcade. Then you have like a boss at every end of every level, which actually are from the arcade as well. So it's actually a pretty faithful port. I mean, obviously they had to scale some things back due to the limitations of the hardware that we'll talk about later in graphics and audio. But it's a pretty solid port for what it is, especially given it's you know, it didn't have the bandwidth to go as hard as it did, and it kind of goes hard, and at the sake of the slowdown is kind of rough. And in my case, if you didn't realize that you're supposed to use the items and upgrade them, I went into the last level with 1 chest upgrade and 1 different weapon item, because I didn't realize that they never go away. So once you upgrade, you get into these shops, whatever you upgrade is forever, and you have unlimited continues. So anytime you die, you just restart the level. And in some cases, you restart the boss fight. So this actually makes this probably one of the most forgiving versions of Ghosts and Goblins, Ghouls and Ghosts in the entire series, easily, because it allows that. Plus, I didn't know that you could just keep upgrading your stuff and it stays. So I didn't focus too hard on that because I was always afraid of having a magician pop up. And I got all the way to the end of the game, losing my mind, cursing this game to hell, because I thought like, oh my God, like by the 3rd level and the 4th level, I'm like, I can't even jump over things. This is pissing me off. I keep dying over and over and over in the same spots. This is stupid. It's not designed well. And then later on, I realized you can just get a boot upgrade that allows you to move more fluidly and jump longer and higher. I felt like a moron. I beat the game in the hardest way possible. So, maybe not the hardest way, because that would be like getting 0 upgrades, but like now when I will revisit this game again for the Master Quest challenge, I'm going to just utilize all of the upgrades and then just do the 2 loops and, you know, really give it my all. But, you know, I felt kind of like a fool because until I realized that I just wasn't playing the game correctly, I actually thought it was janky and poorly designed and crappy until I realized, okay, no, I'm just a moron. I just wasn't getting the upgrades correctly. So
yeah, the thing is, like, you were talking about that, and I'm looking at the B-roll I have right now, and I am dying to these pixel jumps.
Oh, bro,
that you have
this level,
to jump
the fire
absolutely
level?
perfect.
Oh.
Yes, and the thing is, yeah, this game, as you upgrade, you have different upgrades. You can upgrade your helmet, which gives you stronger magics. You can upgrade your armor, which grants you more hits than usual. In the average games, you get hit once. Arthur loses his armor and enters his boxers, and then you get hit again and you die. On this game, you can actually take even more hits. And then the boots. The boots let you actually run faster and jump farther too. So this game started as a very limited, janky like port of Ghouls and Ghosts, but as you upgrade and have all the magics, which you can actually choose which magic you use, by the way, which is very useful.
Yeah, that's way cool.
It becomes actually one of the most fun games in the series. It's definitely the easiest by a landslide. But it's so much fun to run around like really fast and use magics and not die instantly that I kind of dug it by the end of it.
Yeah, and you're able to charge up your attack with the magic like you do in Super Ghouls and Ghosts, which is great because I think this may have been the first time that it was introduced. I mean, outside of obviously the arcade.
Yeah, but in these games, the magic was attached to which weapon you had in hand.
Yeah.
So you can only use one. Here you actually have a pause menu and you can choose which magic to use, which can make boss fights an absolute breeze, especially the one that does the mirrors and you're basically invincible while you use it.
Well, the boss fights were already easy, in my opinion. I thought they were like the easiest part of the game. Me playing it like an idiot as hard as I could. And you know what's funny is I didn't even once hit the pause menu either. I realized that later. I was like, I could just hit the pause menu and change my magic. Couldn't believe that I was like tormenting myself with this game if I would have just read the manual like a smart person would.
And then I actually thought about it, and you know how I told you in this game you can actually switch directions and kind of shift the momentum of a jump? I thought it was that whoever ported this game didn't know what the hell they were doing, and they kind of missed that, which is like law in Ghouls and Goblins. That jump arch is set in stone. But then I realized as you run faster and jump farther, the jumps that are just neutral jumps, you will overshoot them later in the game on the second run through. So you actually had to use that to shorten your jumps. Otherwise, just having the boots update will make you mess up all your jumps. So I think it was by design to make sure you can fine tune once you had the upgraded boots.
For sure. And I skipped those the entire time because I'm like, I don't need these. And they get to that third level or it might be the third or fourth with the tongues, and I'm like, you can't beat this without dying, like because I'm barely making the jumps, even though I'm trying to pixel perfect hit the input. And then I just felt like such a moron afterwards. And I was like, oh, I was just playing the game wrong. But yeah, I agree. I think and then I did actually fire it up and play it a little bit like the right way. And it is a lot of fun. It's a lot more fun, I think, than trying to figure out Super Ghouls and Ghosts at first. Obviously, I think Super Ghouls and Ghosts is a better game across the board, but this game is surprisingly, it's so different in this realm, and it doesn't try to be punishing. And I think that was a good move, because if somebody wanted to really experience the Ghouls and Ghosts and Goblins era, this would be a great way to start, right? This would be the game, because a lot of people aren't ready for that punishing craziness that the other games are. And I think this is a way to kind of, this is get you warmed up to what's coming next. But yeah, I think it was great. I also like the fact that you can shoot all different directions, which I'm not entirely sure you could do that in Super Ghouls and Ghosts. I don't recall being able to shoot straight down.
No. In Super Ghouls and Ghosts, they added the double jump mechanic, but they went back to shooting straight forward, like in Ghosts and Goblins.
Yeah, this game lets you shoot like 4 different directions, which is fantastic, and even makes the boss fights easier. But yeah, it's great. I mean, and like you said, there's different weapons, there's different armor. Once you upgrade them, they're there permanently for the rest of the game. So it kind of like there's no way you can't really beat the game. It's just if you have the patience to finish it, and I don't think it would take you as long as it would other games.
And that's one thing that the Ghosts and Goblins series has always had. That, thank God, all you need to worry about is getting to the next checkpoint. Once you get to the next checkpoint, you can continue from there, and you only have to beat an area once. Well, twice, because you have to beat the whole game again. But pretty much just focus on getting to this next step, and if you lost progress and had to go back like 2 levels in this game, no one will play this. No.
And it's actually, like I said earlier, it's really great that they give you a checkpoint with the bosses. But then that last level run is just pretty much feels like a boss run, low key. But I mean, that's how all the Ghosts and Goblin games are. It makes me really curious, because I've played all of them now, with an exception to the Genesis one fully, which I think sounds like garbage, and the newest one, which is Resurrection. So obviously next on my plate.
Yeah, Resurrection is great, but it is brutal. But it does have difficulties, so.
Okay, so it's adjustable.
Yeah, so the standard one, you Arthur's armor breaks gradually. So I think it's 3 hits to break the armor and then you die. But then if you play it on Legendary, it's old school. You get hit once, you're naked. Twice, you're dead. So
that's a whole nother discussion. But yeah, so I mean, that's really all the gameplay is in this game. It's Ghosts and Goblins on the Master System. It works. It works well, in my opinion. And so let's talk about how the game looks and how the game sounds, and graphics and audio. So, yeah, it's got the vibe, it's got the sound effects. It's definitely somewhere between the super awful crunchiness of the Genesis version and the Super Nintendo version, and a little bit of the Nintendo version, but it's not bad. I wasn't hating it. I do think the soundtrack is very iconic, especially the first level. No map in this one. So like when you're between, that's one thing they took out. I think is just hardware limitations. They weren't able to have that little iconic boom, diddle-doom, ba-da-da-da-doom, ba-doom, and show the map. I think they just kind of do it with showing your lives and all that. But it's on brand. And I think for this system, it's a little pretty impressive, because I've been playing a lot of these games and they generally seem to just cheap out and just repeat the same song over and over. And this game has different tracks for almost every level. I think it repeats a couple of the tracks, but the sound is serviceable. I'd say above serviceable. It adds to the aesthetic. The audio aesthetics match the visual aesthetics. And, obviously the graphics are, I think, great for an 8-bit system. You compare this 1-to-1 to the Nintendo one, and this is blowing it out of the water graphically, right? But it also comes with a lot of that slowdown I spoke about earlier. The slowdown that gets so completely out of control that entire levels are in slowdown. And that was one of my biggest gripes with this game. And I understand they were just trying to make this really impressive and be like a great port. But man, I think they overshot there a little bit. And it also shows with some of the enemies, like the hand enemy on like the forest level, or not the forest, but like I think it's like the 5th level.
Yeah,
or the 4th level.
It's clearly a square sprite.
Yeah.
Like, so the black part of the hand is not really the background. It's just a square that's painted black, and then you can see it over the background.
Yeah.
It looks funky.
It looks kind of cheap, and I was like, oh man, it's like the other enemies in the game look fine, but that one, I think it's because the background was so blue. And somehow they couldn't just add another color of blue around it to make it fit in. So they're like, screw it, whatever. We're just going to have the black pixely, like cut out looking clip art version of this. But I mean, I'm really splitting hairs there. Outside of that, like the bosses look great. I mean, obviously they're downgraded 8-bit versions of the arcade port, but they do a good job with them. I mean, the red armorers, is that how they're called? The red demons.
Arimers.
They're a little weird.
Yes.
They're a little funky looking on this one, but I think they just worked with what they could, and ultimately it does a good job with this graphics and audio for this game, for this series. It like I said before, outside, I think the music is a little better in the NES version. The graphics are significantly better in this one. So, I mean, I've got a little bit of praise, a little bit of hate, but I'm just landing somewhere above average here on my feelings with the looks and the sounds of this game. How do you feel, Van?
So I feel that this game is very ambitious. They try to replicate the Genesis game, so even though it's clearly punching above its weight with the slowdown and all that, you can tell there's too much stuff going on screen almost at all times, that there's like more than 2 enemies on screen. But with that said, if you compare it to the NES, the apples to apples 8-bit systems, this game looks amazing in comparison. It's got a lot of colors. That fire stage, there's screen shake at the beginning of the stage. You got the glowing lava. They really try to make this as faithful to a 16-bit version with way more capacity than it is. And definitely it is hit or miss depending on what it is. But overall, for an 8-bit system, I would say this game is pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm.
All things considered, especially since you can, if you compare it to Ghosts and Goblins for the NES. And the music, I do like the music here more than the Genesis version, and it is because the Genesis version has that crunchy Genesis sound all over. That just sounds like you just blew up your speakers. But I think they did a really good rendition of the tracks from the Genesis game on this one. So overall, graphics and audio all things considered and the limitations of the system, I think they did pretty good with the tools they had for such an ambitious release.
Yeah, I'm always surprised with how the Master System really like pulls it together graphically, because it just seems like their color palette and their internals were just so much better like than the NES. But like I said, it just didn't have the developers to really utilize it, because like I said, this game looks phenomenal for an 8-bit game. I mean, really, if you took a screenshot of this in some of the levels, you'd think it was the Genesis version in some aspects. And
Yeah. Oh, and we forgot to talk about the big bosses.
yeah,
Clearly, these are not animated sprites. They're basically pictures because they couldn't animate monsters that big on the Sega Master System. But the way they are drawn themselves, they are extremely faithful to the Genesis versions.
yeah, they did a good job.
But they're basically standing ducks.
Yeah, they're not hard. I said it earlier in the gameplay. I was like, yeah, the bosses are way easy.
Yeah, they're just kind of there. It's not even like, you remember that giant on Wrath of the Black Manta, which is just this sprite, this sprite that's just like jumping around. These don't even jump. They're
kind of
just there
fly
shooting
across
at
the
you.
screen, yeah, in like a static line. But
if you see a screenshot, it is very impressive.
to be fair, though, I think it's also on brand, because the bosses aren't the hardest part of any of the entries, 16-bit or 8-bit of the series. I always feel like it's the levels. The levels have always been the hardest. And when you get to the boss, you're like, oh, thank God I can fight a boss. I've never, until you get to like the last level.
I mean, the real bosses have always been the Red Reamers.
Yeah.
That's a real boss. So
yeah, but there's a good example right there. That Cloud boss. I think they did. They were very. What they had, they knew they were limited, and I think they worked with it well with these bosses to where it doesn't seem super cheap, and you're just like, oh wow, this is unlike the hand enemy, right? Like I'm like, yeah, feels like a boss. I know that there's limitations here, but it works. It's serviceable, and they're super easy, especially this one. This big cloud eyeball boss, you just go all the way to the right and just keep just spamming that attack. But yeah, it's good. It's good for what it is, and I think that they did a good job. They really did. And with that said, I think it's time for us to give our verdict if we haven't already. So let's do that. All right, Van, I know you are an enormous fan of this series and this IP. And I know you've already beaten this game and you got to play it again for this episode. But I need to know, what's your rating and review of Ghouls and Ghosts on the Sega Master System?
So this game, I went in with very low expectations, honestly, because such a lowly port of a arcade game, like the Genesis version is already a downgrade from the arcade version. Those Genesis fanboys from back in the day, the few nerds that had the Genesis swear it's like 1-to-1 to the arcade. No, it wasn't. And this is an even bigger downgrade than that. But if this was strictly a port, I think it wouldn't really had made much of an impact on me. But the little tiny differences that make this game unique, the upgrade system, that you can choose your magics, that you can upgrade Arthur to run faster and jump longer, makes especially the second playthrough so much fun, because now you're kind of speed running the stages, like just zooming through. And I think this game just did just enough differently to have its own identity. It is definitely flawed. I wouldn't put there with the like super Ghosts and Ghosts, which to me is goated. But with that said, as a little oddity on the Ghosts and Ghosts series, I think this game is great. It merits playing it if you're a fan of the series. If you're not, this is pretty much the easiest entry in all of them. Not that the game is particularly easy. You're gonna die a lot anyways. But honestly, I was very impressed with what this game was trying to do, and they just did just enough to make this entry worth playing by itself. So with that said, I will give it probably a B minus in terms of score. And this is considering it's an 8-bit system. It is very limited, and I think they were really punching above their weight with this one.
Excellent and astute review there, Van. I must say, preface this by saying, I am dick deep in the Master System right now, and like I said earlier, I've beaten 32 games in about 3 months on this system, so I'm very familiar with its limitations and what it has to offer, especially for the North American library, which I think actually is not as impressive as, say, the UK and the Brazil market, because I feel like they had better, they had more of a demand for the system, which means they had better developers, which had, it was a much better situation there for the type of games. But coming into this game, I think that this is a solid entry into the series. It's obviously, like you said, the most forgiving entry. And it's probably a top 10 game on the Master System so far that I've played, because it's just presentation is good. It's really faithful to its source material, and it's approachable. I mean, of the game, what's funny? Here's the grand irony of this system. I've played so many games on the system, and they were almost all of them, ridiculously hard. Like, you think NES hard? There is a whole different level of Master System hard that is just absolutely punishingly unforgiving. And the irony to me is that this game is one of the easier games on the console, even though it lives within the Ghosts and Goblins and Ghouls and Ghosts, spectrum. And I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's a solid platformer that lives well amongst its bigger brothers in the 16-bit era. It has a bunch of quality of life enhancements that somehow only stayed in this game, which I thought was interesting, with the shops and like the upgrades and keeping the upgrades. But I think it's really fun. It's not a bad way to spend your afternoon or weekend. Even though the graphics and sound have their hardware limitations, they still really pulled through and they tried their best. And that's really what a lot of the Master System is like them either going as hard as possible or being absolutely phoning it in, is from my experience with the system so far. And
no in between.
Yeah. So I think this game is fun. I think it's worth everybody's time of day. And especially if you want to dip your toes into this series. And for that, I'm giving it a B. Solid B.
Okay. Yeah.
So with both of our, I'm not surprised, but with both of our ratings combined, Ghouls and Ghosts on the Sega Master System is absolutely Super Garbage Day approved and certified. So check it out. It's fun. And I have to play it again on the Twitch. As I sound like a boomer right now, but I have to play it again.
Nice.
And I'm going to do both. I have to like legitimately go through both loops, but I only just did one loop this time because I got to save the whole enchilada for, the streaming and the quest.
Yeah, the cool thing about the second loop is that once you're upgraded, it's a whole different experience.
Yeah, you probably feel like you're like in God mode at that point, right? It's got to be a little easier. I don't know. I haven't played the second loop, but
yeah, those pixel jumps are like a thing of the past at that point.
They could just give you a double jump, but it's fine. The game is fine. It's fine the way it is. I think this is the best they could have done, and they did the best with what they had. So, all right. So, guys, everybody, this is episode 99. Normally, we spin the wheel of retro, or we spin the producer pool wheel, pick the next game. But since the next episode is going to be the 100th episode of Super Garbage Day, I'm doing something completely insane and also in line with the randomness of the show. So a while back on the Discord, I asked everybody what they thought the 100th episode was going to be and voted. And it didn't matter how many votes anything got. Those were all going to be put on a wheel, and I'm just going to spin it, and that's what's going to be. But keep in mind, there is also the show's ending on this wheel. So we are testing fate right now with this. I want to share my screen, Van, so you can see it. I don't know how to do this on how do we do this on your fancy Riverside thing? Am I able to do this? I can. Hold on. Let me see if I'm going to share. screen. There we go. Here's the wheel. So you can see it in real time. All right. Are you seeing that?
Wait, let me see if I can find a way to. Okay, let's. All right. It's in full view there.
Yeah, there we go. So there are the topics for the 100th episode. It is either the show is ending. We do an award show of some sort. We rank episodes or some form of ranking. It's Final Fantasy VII or it's Earthbound. Are you ready to test fate?
Oh, I mean, Final Fantasy. I think I'd rather like the show end than review Final Fantasy VII.
So that's both the same. So the show's ending if it lands on Final Fantasy VII. That's good to know. All right, well, give me a countdown, and I will click it on go.
All right, 3, 2, 1, spin.
Oh boy, here we go, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, the show is continuing. We're just gonna rank the episodes.
All right. Oof, that was. Dude, how come you got me like sweating for like 3 of the options there?
Because I had to do it. Are you worried about Earthbound? Everybody thought it was gonna be Earthbound, but no, it's actually we're just gonna rank all of the games and all the 100 episodes or something like that. You know, let's have fun. Let's do a fun little thing with our 100th episode.
Basically, determine what is the best game we played on Super Garbage Day.
We can give every game. Yeah, I mean it's a little bit of an undertaking.
You know what? I think instead of like doing like a ranked list, just like we can narrow it down by doing like a tier list. Like
I like that.
S tier, like the best ones. A tier, B tier.
Oh, and that'll be a really good episode to stream too.
Actually, yeah, we can have all the go to one of these tier maker websites, and then just kind of
Tier Hub.
Put them where they go in a real time discussion. I think that would
be fun. I'm down with that. So, yeah. Well, look forward to that, everybody. Which means we don't have to play any games. We just have to come together and figure out. We're gonna rank all of the games so far and choose and try to figure out. We're gonna argue a lot on these games though, but try to figure out of the 100 episodes or games we played, which ones are the best.
Okay,
so,
that sounds awesome.
Yeah, that's gonna be good. So the show will continue, everybody. I had to do something. This was my plan the whole time, but everybody thought it was gonna be Earthbound. I'm like, actually, I'm just gonna spin the wheel because we've always spun the wheel. So
yeah, the wheel of doom.
The wheel of doom. But and then of course after the 100th episode, we will continue choosing from the Wheel of Retro and the producer pool. So it actually might be a producer pool episode coming up, right? Might be the next one.
Yeah, so we're doing the spin during the 100th episode at the end?
Of course.
Okay. Cool.
How do we know which game to play next? So for 101.
Yeah, true.
All right, everybody. I just want to say thank you to everybody who is a part of the Patreon, whether you're at the $2 or $10 level. Obviously, being in those levels, you get access to our Talking Trash, special bonus show, which is just me and Van talking about whatever. It's uncensored and it's pretty naughty. It's not that naughty, but and you get to put a game in either the Willow Retro or the producer pool. And that's how we choose the games. Like I said, this entire show is random for the most part. And it's the community that puts in what we choose, what we play. It's been 100 episodes. This is nuts, Well, I guess 99, but it's about to be 100 episodes. And yeah, looking forward to continuing it. So thank you for all that. Of course, all that money is donated to the Green Hill Humane Society, which is a local animal shelter here in Eugene, Oregon. And I think we just hit like $750 or something. So I'm really happy that we made a difference.
We're saving the puppies.
Saving the puppies, man. Yes. And I want to thank the producer level patrons like Nog, Siki Wisdom, Akakan, Kenshiro, Chris Copleen, Bleach Ninja. You guys know the deal. And if you got this far in this episode, please consider leaving us a review. It helps our show grow its audience. I hope you are ready for a completely new intro song and wheel spin song, which I've been working on with somebody for a while, and I'm really happy with the way it sounds. And check out other shows like Vanfernal Stream. He does every Friday. Check out the Charlie Coleslaw Master System quest, which I do like 3 or 4 days out of the week. Link in the show notes. Check out the Retro Hangover with Chris Copleen, the main quest with our boy Keith. I mean, New Game Plus. Remember the Game with Adam Blank, and Sofa King podcast with my buddy Brent. And join the Discord if you want. We're all in there hanging out, having fun, talking crap, joking. And that's where you can actually add the retro question of the week, and we will usually put it on the show. So that is it, everybody. Thank you for 99 episodes so far, and appreciate you being a part of this and giving a crap at all. And it's always something I look forward to. And Van, do you have any parting words?
No, I'm excited. 100th episodes. That is something. I think I read like some statistics, something that the average podcast lasts 4 episodes or something like this before they call it quits. So yeah, so we're too stubborn to quit apparently.
That's true.
But yeah, thank you everyone for the support. This has been a lot of fun. Look, the only reason I do this is because I have fun doing it, and that is pretty much the gist of it. So you guys have kept it fun this whole time, and as long as you guys are in, well, we're in. So thank you.
All right, everybody, thank you so much. Never judge a book by its grammar. Have a super garbage day, and cut to B. I will see you for the 100th episode. Bye.
Thank you for watching with my dad. I just want to say, everybody, guys, bye.